Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Call it officially a loss of 2 on the first play from scrimmage. Second down.
Part of their struggles last week was getting these negative plays on first and second down. That's something they have to be wary of as this game continues.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's second and 12.
11, mighty.
Burrow looking to pass. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
We'll put a check mark in the box where the defense coordinator was saying, how well can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one, forced the incompletion. That allowed him to get bolder with his pass rush, won't it?
Absolutely frees up your guys elsewhere. 3 and out, a real danger here on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and 12.
They gotta go.
Play action. It's Burrow. And the catch made. It's Tyler Boyd. And he will not make it to that imaginary yellow line as they get him to the ground at about the 23.
11.
They'll try and throw forward with Burrow. Man open, that's Jamar Chase complete. And he is going to have the Bengals first down as they manage to convert. And that'll keep the drive alive. 4th down conversion plays, you usually think 1, 2, 3 yards, maybe 10. Not there. What a huge pickup as the Sticks make a drastic shift forward. And he picks up about 6 as he gets this down to the 41. The Bengals had 0-1 in the year following the loss in the opener. And listen, they knew last week they were in for a tough fight on the road. But now here's the home opener and a chance to get things right.
And I like the way that you presented that because the bottom line is they didn't come out of that loss discouraged. They just came home and said, hey, if we do what we're supposed to do, protect our home turf, we'll be just fine.
Meanwhile, Burrow's throw caught by Higgins. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. I think it's fair to say there's nothing that gets a crowd to its feet quite like a big play, and that was something special there. Boy, was he moving.
And that's the kind of play where you have to kind of catch your breath afterwards. So just give me a second here because when he shifted into high gear, he was an absolute blowout out there. No substitute for speed. We talk about that all the time. The evidence was right there. And
according to Next Gen Stats, his top speed on that one, better than 20 miles an hour. Here's Jakeem Grant from his end zone. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards. Watson and the Browns now with a 1st and 10 at their own 21. They start on the ground with Nick Chubb, and he'll get about 6 up to the 27-yard line.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. They run it again with Chubb. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
That's complete to Peoples-Jones. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A good play there as the Browns strike for 16 and a 1st down.
I know at the end of games, coaches always tell us that no one play won or lost a game. But this seems pretty important early, doesn't it? Their ability to pick up that 1st down on 3rd down, I thought that was key.
They were already in the hole after the touchdown on the other side. How will you respond? We talk about that a lot, and they responded pretty well there. You go 3 and out, I think you give up a lot of momentum. You get down 2 scores, could be an entirely different game.
So they've got a nice drive going now. They're in good shape. What's interesting to me is they're also in that spot of the field where you would take a shot. Do you change that up just because you're down a touchdown?
Back to the ground. This time it's Chubb. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up third down.
But that's not an easy play for a defensive end because most of his responsibility has him getting upfield and working, but how about his vision to see where the play was going? Crashed down inside and tackled him for a loss.
And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he gets it just shy of midfield, but that's not enough. He's short of the marker. So 8 yards on the completion there, and that's going to bring up a fourth down.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game, but it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. Third down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go and make the tackle right away.
Here we go on fourth. Watson. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out, and it'll be a turnover on downs. Mixon with a first down carry. And he'll get this into enemy territory, but not by much as he's down to the 48. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Well, this defense for the Browns, terrific last week in the season-opening victory.
And no matter what's done throughout a ball game, it always comes back to blocking and tackling. That's the essence of football. But I think it's hard for people to understand just how difficult it is to tackle, especially open field. Very few missed tackles on tape that I saw last game. This team does a nice job of getting their opponents on the ground. Someone sharp in this game. I mean, a touchdown pass on the first drive and comes right back, and he's flinging it around really well here.
Really nice throw there to pick up the first down. You kind of just feel a laser focus and confidence about him, and I think we saw that this week, didn't we? Talking to him and the coaches, they felt good about his performance coming up.
Yeah, I was really impressed with that last practice we saw when they went through 2 minutes.
That's to Chase. He's got it. Touchdown, Cincinnati. Jamar Chase. His first touchdown of the new season. And the Bengals lead this now 13-0 here in the opening quarter of the ball game. Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And that'll make the score 14-0. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. On the return from his end zone is Grant. And he's only going to make it to the 13-yard line and no further. The Browns drive about to get started. Now, early on, you know, Charles, every game could be called a measuring stick game. But I think when it comes within your division like this, it's a measuring stick game with a little extra intrigue.
I would agree with that totally because all division games have a little extra to them. But I like where this game is situated because at this stage of the season, it has that little extra juice. But at the same time, it's not a make or break if this were, let's say, week 15, 16, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Here's 2nd and 10. Now Watson. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. And the Bengals are going to take possession of the football. They had him back deep, got the interception, and now they start inside the 10.
Partner forgets starting inside the red zone. They're inside the green zone. From the 10-yard line in, a lot of teams call it that because that's the money zone. Get it into the end zone and make your cash.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
Partner, this is almost an unwinnable spot for a defense. They have to come right out for a 1st and goal trying to stop them. But let me hold on a second. Let me take that back real quick. They can win here if they force a field goal try. Still a long ways away from that happening, but that has to be what they're thinking right now.
2nd down and goal. Burrow. And this will be well too low for him to bring in. It's incomplete.
Personally, I think they've got to go somewhere else with the football. They've got him bracketed out there in double coverage. Makes it hard to fit it in time after time.
It would have had to have been an absolutely perfect pass and not good enough. Now, they'd really like to make the short field pay off. We'll see if they can, but this is 3rd and goal. Now it's Burrow. And a dangerous throw there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
Coaches talk about it all the time. Players talk about it as well. Excellent job staying disciplined in coverage and making that stop. Inside the red zone, every stop like that could be preventing a possible touchdown.
So the interception set him up with terrific field position, but 3 points, the end result.
Yeah, we can make this one pretty simple, partner. You always want to end drives with points, but that's one that you're going to look back on and probably say, we should have done better there.
The Browns drive about to get started. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
No, but hold on, let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. They'll say no gain on the play there. Now it'll be 3rd down.
All runners count on their eyes to find the gaps and creases, to find open space. There was absolutely none on that one. Totally swallowed up on that play.
From the gun on 3rd, Watson. Got an open man. That's David Njoku, the tight end. And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. Well, that's one way to convert on 3rd down, picking up 26 yards. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. And Chubb try the middle here. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. Watson now to throw. And that's going to be caught by Peoples-Jones. And he's got another 1st down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 25-yard line. A good pickup there at 22. On 1st down, they'll run with Hunt. Oh, and fine work there as he gets this thing down to the 11-yard line. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another 1st. Now it's Watson. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
Oh, they were so close. That close to their first points of the game. Just needed to hang on just a second longer. But he couldn't complete the process of the catch through the jostling from the defender.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Watson. And he's got it. Touchdown, Browns. Donovan Peoples-Jones. An 11-yard touchdown. And the Browns are able to make some inroads here to that deficit.
As a former defender, I would be angry as well. Could not get off the field. Well-executed offensive drive. No matter what the defense tried, they couldn't stop them.
Extra point by York is up and good. And that'll cut the lead to 17-7. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. Oh, a good-looking return set up here. And now off to the races down the right side. He will score. Touchdown, Bengals. This offense certainly looking a lot more comfortable here at home. They lost last week in the opener on the road, but there's something about that home opener makes you feel more settled.
Yeah, I wish we could quantify it, too, because you're playing the same game. The field's the same, size. We know all of that. But being at home, sometimes when you do things well, you get that extra push from your own fans, and it elevates your game.
And in the driver's seat right now. On the return from his end zone is Grant. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down officially at the 21. The Browns drive about to get started. A strong showing their last time out. They scored the touchdown, but Charles, they look up and they're still down double digits, so you feel like just to keep pace, this drive probably needs to end in the end zone as well.
Yeah, and I think the best move for them is to not worry about how far they are down on the scoreboard, but to just remember the last drive and how it ended. Go ahead and try and repeat that. Then you can look at the scoreboard and see where this game is.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Here's Watson. He rifles one that's intercepted. And the Bengals are going to take possession of the football. Boy, we've seen a lot of mistakes here in this first half, and another there on the interception.
Yeah, they're certainly starting to pile up, aren't they? Because, let's face it, we expect a miscue here and there, but they're already down 3 scores and still giving the ball away. If they want...
And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. Dawson Knox, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Bengals are able to widen their lead here in this first half. Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And a rout is on here in this first half. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And this will be a touchback as Grant opts not to return it. The Browns drive about to get started. So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you, and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Back to throw, Watson. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. A nickel look now for the Bengals as they try to stop him here on 3rd down. Here's Watson. And that is incomplete.
Some applause for the defense there. They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
On 4th down, Watson. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. And the Bengals are going to take possession of the football. I'm not sure that the wheels, Charles, are coming completely off, but they're shaking a little bit. That's 3 interceptions, and now interceptions here on back-to-back drives.
And I think about what a Hall of Fame coach told me that he always told his teams, when a mistake happens, just move on to the next play. Let it go. Hard to do when you've thrown this many interceptions. That's exactly the attitude that has to be adopted.
And a big loss is here as he's taken down. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
Traditionally, as a defense, your #1 job, stop the run. But in today's football, it's impacting the opposing quarterback. Make him uncomfortable. And so far, they've not been able to do that.
Not at all. He's been really comfortable in the pocket. 3 touchdown passes already.
So that could be an important first sack if they do want to turn things around.
And that is caught. He's got it for a Bengal touchdown. So after the disappointment in the opening week loss, Charles, this looks like really a completely different football team.
They sure do, and I think they realize we can't start 0-2, and they're determined to not let it happen by the looks of things here in the early going.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. The Browns drive about to get started. And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Shreds him with a stiff arm. And the Bengals are going to take possession of the football. Now the Browns signal for the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half.
11, empty, hey, go.
First down, here's Burrow. He's got it. Touchdown, Bengals. Joe Mixon, 27 yards. And the Bengals will extend their lead in the final minute of the half. Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And a rout is on here in this first half. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. The Browns drive about to get started. And with the score where it is, even though I think they'd love to get back to the locker room, they may be forced to try and get something out of this drive. And some room to roam now. There he goes, right side. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a second one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdown scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. Then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. They go play action with Burrow. And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked off by Grant Delpit. And the Browns are going to take possession of the football.
So first thing that crossed my mind is why didn't they just sit on the lead and take it to the locker room? They're in good shape.
Absolutely. And from this spot on the field, now you've given the other side a chance for points here going into intermission.
Yeah, you changed the momentum of the game, and it's something you did not need to do.
And he'll be out of bounds as he gets this down to about the 21 or 22. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And they'll have a 2nd and 1 forthcoming. To throw is Watson. And this is intercepted, but they'll say out of bounds. So very close to a turnover there in the end zone. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
Watson to throw on 3rd and 1. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains. So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And it'll be intercepted. Daxton Hill picks it off. And the Bengals are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. 13 seconds, the time remaining in the half as they come up on 1st down. They'll indeed start on the ground to run that clock. And defensively, they're just looking to keep him contained as they're able to get him down. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down. So we've reached halftime here in what is quickly turning into quite a rout. As we'll send you down to Orlando and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth ready for quarter number 3. The Browns going to see the football first, but they trail here as we resume play on EA Sports. On the return from his end zone is Grant. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. The Browns drive about to get started.
CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history. That's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And partner, you know, as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late, that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one.
Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
And you just know when that play call came in, their eyes lit up, because anytime you get a chance to take a big shot downfield, that's a lot of fun, and they missed an opportunity.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Operating from the gun, Watson. And he's going to be brought down. Back in his own 6-yard line. Looks like a 9-yard loss, and it also brings up 4th. The Browns send out their punter now. And no room for error here as his first punt comes from deep in his own end zone. And it's fielded at the 34. A big boot that time. 57 yards the official distance.
And the Bengals take over 1st and 10.
Here we go.
The Bengals drive about to get going.
Well, the first half definitely went their way, and this would seem to be a great opportunity to kind of put this game a little closer out of reach with a score here.
Yeah, and it's a wonderful opportunity for them, because if they can add 7 more to their lead before the other guys even see the football, that could be the decisive blow in this game. I think that's how they're eyeing it. That's how they're approaching it.
That's a good way to start the drive. 17 yards and a 1st down.
11 empty, hey. 11 empty, hey.
It's Mixon on the counter. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down.
And plays like that are exactly what this defense needs here early in the second half to give it a little spark. I think their halftime adjustment, what they talked about, maybe it was just a little inspirational speech. Who knows? But looks like they're ready to go.
11.
Now on 2nd and 13. Burrow. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the 3rd quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly at the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now it's Burrow. Oh, he'll let one go deep for Higgins. Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted. Picked off by Greg Newsome. And the Browns are going to have it here as they'll start at their own 7. The Browns drive about to get started. They got the ball now following a big play, keeping the other guys out of the... And now here's another interception. And the Bengals are going to take possession of the football. Well, to be blunt, not a whole lot has gone right for this defense in this ball game, but that's something right there. Still in the third quarter. It would take something around miracle territory for a comeback, but maybe that's a start, Charles.
It certainly is, and they're definitely showing that there's some fight still left in them. Hasn't been a banner day, but they're trying their best to put that disappointment behind them and find ways to make plays.
It's a loss of 4 on the first down play.
I just wonder if before that last play, if someone on the defense stepped in the huddle and said, we've been run over, run around, run through all game long. Can we come up with one stop?
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Melvin Ingram coming in hard there on the blitz, and he gets him 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Second goal, last thing you need to do is get pushed backwards to take a sack. But he couldn't find anywhere to go with the football, had to eat it, and ended up on the ground.
3rd and goal as they look to pour some more salt in the wound.
11, Thomas. 11.
They'll bring a receiver in motion right. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
That was a touchdown if he could have hung on. Instead, it was a well-timed collision to jar that one free.
McPherson's kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. They come through 3 after forcing the turnover. But CD's second half, you're starting inside the red zone. Obviously, they would have liked 6 out of that.
Absolutely, because that's all you're thinking is how do you get it into the end zone? You want the field goal to be the last resort. In this case, they gave it a great try, but did have to settle for 3.
The Browns drive about to get started. Well, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable now. A win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5. He's been quiet today in the passing game, just his 2nd catch.
Yeah, and people have to come up with schemes to limit him. And what a lot of teams do, they'll double him, use a linebacker underneath, a safety over the top. Sometimes they'll just take a corner, maybe their 3rd corner if he's a bigger guy, and put him on a man-to-man to try and limit his touches. Just keep mixing it up, give him different angles, different looks, like a good boxer does.
They will indeed snap it to Watson. And my goodness, another interception. And the Bengals are going to take possession of the football. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it, and that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way.
Throwing now, Burrow on 1st down. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Well, he certainly thought he had an open look beyond the 1st down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
3rd quarter on a Monday night with a 2nd and 10 coming up.
11 mighty.
Burrow will throw. This goes out wide from Mixon.
And they're going to get this down inside the 20.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve.
Here we go.
They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate.
And now Burrow going to be intercepted yet again. Picked off by Grant Delpit. And the Browns are going to take possession here at their own 16-yard line. Well, with the size of lead that this offense has, I don't think that interception is really going to affect them much. But at least for this defense, something small to hang their hat on.
Yeah, and let's face it, they're not even scoreboard watching anymore, right? They're just trying their best to make a play, get themselves off the field, which they just did, and salvage a little bit of pride in this one.
So 2nd and 4 from the 22. This is Hunt on the draw play. And he will lose yardage on the play. Back at his own 19-yard line. They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down. Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Running for it. Here's Chubb. And he's able to pick up the first down here before he goes down at the 26. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. Work to do here to avoid falling to 1-1, but this is 1st and 10 right now. Looking to throw. Watson. And now here is another interception. Picked up by Jesse Bates. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 from Bengals TD. Well, what has been a fantastic game for this defense has been rough for this offense. And certainly a signal caller, Charles, that's thrown all these interceptions. Another one there, and this one taken all the way back for the score.
A nice little spot in the post-game highlights to show this rip of interceptions and great plays this group has made. They've been on it from snap one.
The Browns drive about to get started. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
He's got his tight end, David Njoku. Touchdown! David Njoku, 69 yards. And the Browns get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this 4th quarter deficit. Extra point by York is up and good as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback.
Here we go.
The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. You just kind of feel for the defense right now. This deficit, they have not been able to stop them the entire game, Charles. And some hands on hips, some long faces out there on the defensive side. They're like, oh my gosh, we got to face these guys again here.
Yeah, people don't understand how hard it is when you're on the side that's being dominated to keep your head up and continue to play hard. And that's what they're going through right now, trying to find that pride inside of them to allow them to continue to fight, even though they are down huge in this game.
Tackle made there by Myles Garrett. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. They try to eat some clock with Mixon. And just 1 yard here from the 49 to the 50.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Open man, it's complete to Higgins. And they're going to have another first down as he's going to be tackled at the Browns' 35. Coming up to the line, and they will need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Burrow going to give this to Mixon. And he'll be taken down at the 34. Javon Hargrave there on the stop. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a 2nd down now as they look to salt this one away. Back to Mixon on 2nd down. And a short gain down to about the 33. They're down here in the 4th, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration, not a good play.
After the penalty, it's Mixon. And this time they're able to bottle him up as they'll stop him at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. Again, it's Mixon. And here's another tackle made at the line. So they're converging well on the football now. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down. Here comes the 8th play of the drive, and they need a full 10 yards on 3rd down. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. Well, up big here in the fourth quarter, up really big. That pass and incompletion, I don't think they needed the completion, but Charles, this is an offense right now that they're just having fun. They're clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah, you're right. They didn't need a completion. They certainly don't need any more points, but they're not going to turn them down. They're going to continue to run what they have in their playbook, and they still want to run it efficiently.
Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
The Browns drive about to get started. Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
On 1st and 10, Watson going out wide, finds Chubb. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds showing on the clock. To throw again on 2nd down. Watson toward the sideline, and he will have the first down as he was able to keep the feet in bounds. On 1st down, Watson. And that is taken in by Njoku. And somewhat of a measure of revenge as he's in for the touchdown, but they still trail big time.
He'll take it, but he won't be able to smile about it.
Looking to maybe throw for it here, Watson. And they're going to get the 2-point conversion, caught in the end zone, and that cuts the lead a bit further. So despite the huge deficit, they're going to keep fighting. Here comes the onside kick. And this is going to be snuffed out. The Bengals recover. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. Now they're down big here in the fourth. They had to try the onside kick. Can't fault them for the effort at least.
No, you can't at all. And if nothing else, now you've put something that you're trying to practice, right, that you've worked on into a game situation, and now you can go back and dissect it. So if you need it again sometime, maybe you'll find a better way to do it. But, yeah, this game's pretty much done for now.
Partner, under the lights in prime time, this offense, they gave the nation quite a show, putting up that many points to come away with what will certainly be a memorable win for them.
And, Brandon, I think it's as simple as this. Some players, some teams,